everybody, and welcome to another Monday. This one, the 17th of July, 2017. I'm, as usual, Dakian. And first off, I want to show you that I finished up the last three, currently, of my Achtung Cthulhu minis that I own. And, yeah, nothing special about them, really. They're just... you know, I tried to add a little bit of color here and there, but still make them reasonably realistic, because they're fighting in a war. They can't be, they have to look a little bit camo, a little bit drab, a little bit, you know, disguised. But overall, not much of an issue. I think I mentioned the issue with the cable on the gun here previously, but while painting, I managed to hide it. But this is not the only thing I got done this week. I have actually been very, very productive. So, let's show you some more stuff. I have also finished the last of my Blind Beggar minis that I own. And so there's a lot of lasts this episode, a lot of finalization. These are various ladies, as you can tell, armed. Almost all of them. There's only one in the back. This one isn't carrying any weapons. I know she has something in her apron there. Not sure what it is actually. Probably supposed to be bread or cakes or something, but I don't know. She's bringing food to the troops, maybe. And you know, I just played around with the colors a bit. I tried to make some of them a bit more realistic. Perhaps turned out a bit drab to just have something in brown, but oh well, I wanted to try it. Similarly, I think there's one here that's all gray, but added some color to the hat. Here's a few others. Yeah, I like the one with the big Lewis gun. You can sort of recognize some of these, like this one. Made me think, wait a minute, haven't I seen this before? And yeah, the sculpts of some of these are very similar to the ones he made of the female militia. They've just been slightly modified. I think these were actually the older ones, and the militia were made later. But, yeah. I actually don't think I'll be getting any more of these. I mean, with the Achtung Cthulhu minis, they're very nice, and I don't have any immediate use for any of the others, but, you know, I might get some eventually just for fun. But when it comes to these, the Blind Beggar, I have enough of them. I have enough of this style of mini now. I don't need any more. And while the sculpt, while they're cheap and they're easy to paint, which makes them relatively fun to paint, still the sculpts are not all that. To be honest, they're not amazingly fantastic sculpts. So yeah, I think enough of that for now. But wait, there's even more. You know, more than, so let's see, 3 Achtung Cthulhu, and these are 10, more than 13 minis in a week? Yes, indeed. I actually have a few more to show you. And the final few minis for this week are a bunch of monsters. And if we start from left to right, we have the Shadow Hound, which is a Reaper Bones mini in translucent plastic. And I've tried to keep some of that translucency by painting it mostly with inks and transparent paint. The white is the Vallejo White Glaze paint. And I didn't work it too much because, again, too many layers of paint would have obscured the translucent effect. I hope some of it is left. Other doggy types, this one is called the Hound of Tyndalos. Also by Reaper, but this is a metal mini. And, not much to say about it. I tried to go for the idea that it had these bony sections and the flesh, tried to make it a little fleshy, sort of almost human in its pinkness. I thought that would be disturbing. And green tentacles, of course. And the final hound thing, I don't recall what this is called. This is from another sub-range. I think it's from the Warlord's range in Reaper. The thing I'd worked on here is the blends. Trying to blend in the green smoke rising off the body, even though the body is a different color. I could have worked this more. If I had been trying to paint a display figure, I would have spent more hours on this and smoothing out everything even more. But, as usual, I'm painting for the tabletop, and this is good enough, I think. And finally, the Gug. Went possibly a different route than you might imagine. I see the sort of lips around the mouth. I think the natural inclination would have been to paint them red or pink, but I went green because I feel like the tentacles here down the back are a continuation of this, and I wanted it to be the same color that was progressing, and I put in some pinks and reds in different places anyway, the brain here, and the parts showing in the legs, and otherwise, yeah. And the skin and the hair is nothing special. I put some more pleasant looking flowers on his base because I thought it needed sprucing up a bit. It was a big base and there was really nothing on it, so yeah. At the bases for these I just put a few tufts of grass because, and this base is completely barren. Again, because I didn't want to take away from the model itself. I just wanted the base to be sort of a very neutral background. I didn't, in this case, I didn't want the base to add anything. And it's sort of the same thinking here, just some very sparse tufts here and there. Well, that was the finished stuff this week. But I have a lot of projects in the works. And looking at what's currently on my painting table, we have a bunch of archaeologists from Cobblestone Castings that started, and a couple of other random minis also begun. And I've started as usual with the metallics because they are messy, and then I moved on to, in this case, the hair first, and next up is going to be the skin tones. Not my usual process. Not much to say about it, except you might be curious, what is this thing? And I don't mean the model, I mean this miniature holder. This is something that arrived just recently in the mail. It was something I pledged for in a Kickstarter. It's a new kind of miniature holder by a company called Rathcore, R-A-T-H-C-O-R-E. I don't think I'm going to say too much about it. It's an interesting idea. It basically it's a holder plus this thing, and the question is, what is this for? I think before I talk about that, I want to try it out a bit longer, a week or two at least, and then I think I'll do a separate video where I review this product. So look for that in a couple of weeks. But I am testing it for now. And yeah, as I said, not too much else to say about these. Let's look at some even newer projects. And here, freshly primed, we see two big monsters by Reaper. They were, in some cases, a bit tricky to assemble. this arm I had to pin, and also the left arm here did not have a good pre-made join, so to speak. I had to fix it in place. I'm not sure how well it sits there, but oh well. Here's hoping. Now, hopefully I've managed to disguise the elbow here, where there's this arm was in two parts. It's attached here, but I think I've managed to smooth over the joint reasonably well. I'm only worried that this guy is a bit front heavy. He might tip over on the table and it's going to strike that hand, and that might cause that arm to snap off because it's just held in place with super glue. Also, this tail did not fit very well. I had to spend a lot of time there with a file, spreading his cheeks, as it were, to fit it in there. But again, as long as I don't hit it hard, I think the glue should hold. Now, over here on the table, we have some more of the cobblestone guys. Just started prepping. They've been cleaned and put on bases, and now they need some basing material before priming. And here you can see the last two. These two sets are the German advisor, the German mercenaries, and the European advisors. And the German mercenaries, these two guys with the submachine guns, they have something, a strange like ball attached to the muzzles of the guns that I didn't realize what it was. I thought it was something I needed to cut away first, but then I thought maybe that's a muzzle flash. Maybe it's not. That's like a ball of smoke coming out or something. The picture on the website doesn't have that. It just ends at the muzzle, so... But I'll make a go of it and see what it looks like. If not, I can always cut it off later. Maybe if I don't like the look of it. The last two sets I have currently of the cobblestone miniatures are the American Adventures and the Jolly Good Chaps. So they'll be up next, and also a couple more Reaper monsters. You've seen this recently in the new arrivals section. So that's what's next. In the new arrivals section this week, we actually have two things. Well, first off, we have this little package from Reaper Miniatures, which comes with the anniversary figure, because I placed an order in the proper month for this. But what I was really after was this set of Yeti, the abominable snowmen. Now there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them from the Warlord range that all sort of match. And then there's a 5th from the Dark Heaven Legends range that is older, and it's not quite the same style, but it is a Yeti anyway, and I'll plan to include it as such. I also got some paints. I got this Dark Elf Skins set to see if that works. I've always had trouble with how to paint a drow skin, and I think not very soon, but you know, sometime this year I'm gonna have another stab at it and see how it turns out, and I'll try these colors and see if they work. So that was the Reaper package. Then I got something from Hassle-Free. Now this, to a large extent, was that I bought even more bases. I bought, see, these are 40. Oh, most of this package was bases. I got two large sets of 40 and 50 millimeter lipped bases. I think there's 50 of each here. again, because I use these for certain ranges of minis. I also got a few minis. I got a couple more resin masters. I've got Artemis, which is a 40mm resin model. So I can practice painting a little bit of a larger scale. And we got a resin miniature, which is not a resin master, but it's a dwarf female, a barbaric one, who is rather unclad. She's not available in metal at all. I'm not sure why. There was some issue with casting this particular figure in metal. It didn't work or something, so it's only available in metal. That's fine. So that was everything I had to show you this week. For once, I have a positive balance, more painted than purchased this week. And not for the year's total, but for this week. I'm starting to narrow the gap a little bit. Anyway, click like, subscribe if you haven't done so, comment, and I will see you next week. Until then, I am Doc Eon, and I am signing off.